Getting around RuneScape was the single greatest hurdle I had to cross when coming back to RuneScape. I had completely forgotten how to get around my old stomping ground from when I was in 8th grade, not to mention the much broader world that I had never explored. In this video, I want to make getting around RuneScape as easy as possible for you. Of course, I can't go over absolutely every single teleport and consumable. What I am going to do is give you some better than average knowledge on how to get around. If you do end up enjoying the video, then a like on it would really help out the channel. Also, I'm more than happy to answer any RuneScape related question you might have, on here or in my Discord. So let's get the obvious out of the way. Use RuneLight. Yes, I know. I am very helpful and quite wise. But wait, what's that? You just want to use the vanilla version? You don't want to use a client and/or you play on mobile exclusively? Sure, no problem. We'll get a little more in-depth than that. Seriously though, on the map in RuneLight, it shows you all of the possible teleports around any given area. But if you're a purist, non-client using type, then we can dive into this travel guide right now. As I said earlier, this is not going to be an exhaustive guide. I think the best way to go about this is talking about the more useful methods of transportation and talking about how accessible they are to each account. The most logical first thing to talk about would be the spellbooks. As a new account, most of your travels will be at major cities and in the inner areas of RuneScape. The standard spellbook has teleports to almost every major city on it. The teleports themselves are relatively cheap, and getting to 51 magic is all you need to unlock most of the basic useful teleports. The other 3 spellbooks, Lunar, Ancient, and Arceus, also have teleports on them. These are typically to more niche areas and have higher requirements to unlock. I will say that the Lunar spellbook is the more useful of the 3, in regards to teleports, but I wouldn't set unlocking these additional spellbooks specifically as a goal for the cause of increasing your overall travel options. Teleport tablets are the next stop in our travel to learn more about traveling, oddly enough. Almost every teleport that's available in a spellbook is also available in tablet form. These tablets can be bought off the GE for a price slightly higher than casting the spell yourself, but you don't actually need the magic level to cast them. On top of that, they take up only 1 inventory space and are a one-click teleport for quick getaways. Along the same train of thought, teleport scrolls are also available on the Grand Exchange. They typically cost a bit more than teleport tablets, but offer some of the best ways to get to niche areas, like the middle of the Mortania swamp, or mostly harmless to get to cave horrors. But that actually isn't the last option for buying teleports off the Grand Exchange. Many pieces of jewelry offer easy ways to get around quickly. I'm going to leave many links down below to wiki pages that go more in depth on everything we're talking about. But any Osrs player worth his salt knows that a glory amulet is a man's best friend in the early levels. You should also know that a dueling ring is one of the fastest ways to restore your stats and get to a bank. I feel that many people forget minigame teleports are even a thing. Most minigame teleports are free to use, but some require quests completed to unlock them first. For example, after the quest Ratcatchers is completed, you're able to minigame teleport straight to Port Sarim. Teleporting to the Nightmare Zone is another example of an easy way to get to an area that might otherwise require some effort to get to. Not every minigame listed has a teleport, but you should take some time and see which ones do. I also have 3 specific quest unlock travel methods that every account should strive for in the early to mid game. First off, we have Spirit Trees. They offer a great way to get around the middle and the west half of the map, and they're easily accessible after completing the appropriate quest. Specifically, the Tree Gnome Stronghold is frequently visited for different quests, farming, and Slayer. A Spirit Tree between there and the Grand Exchange will probably be the most used teleport. Fairy Rings require a little more effort to unlock, but they're probably the biggest achievement you can get for yourself in terms of travel. And in the process of unlocking Fairy Rings, you also unlock a plethora of useful items that I'm not even going to get into. The quest that unlocks Fairy Rings states that you need some mid to high levels for a new account, but you don't actually need to hit these requirements. Very shortly into the quest, you unlock the use of Fairy Rings. You don't actually have to complete it. A lot of the arrows you see on the map are actually destination points. You can see how this travel option stays relevant even into the endgame of your account. My final quest unlocked recommendation is the Humble Ectophile. Nothing too fancy about it really, It's simply one of the best and easily unlocked ways you can get to the eastern side of the map. It's also imperative to herb runs if you plan on getting into farming. I did want to take some time to talk about player-owned houses. When you become a member, one of the very first things you should do is purchase a house for yourself. It only costs 1K and allows you to start earning construction experience. Currently, there are 8 different locations you can have your house situated. You're also able to move your house around to any of these locations for a nominal fee, as long as you have the appropriate construction level. Oftentimes, your house location will be the best way to get to a specific area. Beyond that, later in your account, a player-owned house is the single best quality of life investment for your account. Starting at level 50, you can begin to make portal rooms that allow you to get just about everywhere in the game. On top of that, at the very high level, you're able to set up a jewelry box along with other wall-mounted pieces that will last forever for teleports. You're even able to build a spirit tree, a fairy ring, and an obelisk for the wilderness. If you're familiar with Nightmare Zone at all, then I should tell you that you're able to buy scrolls of redirection with the points you get from there. These scrolls, when used with the house teleport, can be used to make tablets that allow you to teleport to any of the potential house portal locations as long as you have the appropriate construction level. I wish I would have found this out way sooner in my RuneScape journey, because I spent a lot of time running to areas that I could have simply teleported to. These next 3 items don't exactly fit into the previous categories we talked about, but I find them exceptionally helpful for specific reasons. First off, Azeric's Talisman is hands down the best way to travel around Karen. I put getting one off for the longest time because I couldn't buy it on the Grand Exchange and I didn't want to spend the time grinding one out. This was a huge mistake, as when I finally did get one, I realized how incredibly helpful it is for getting around. If you planned on spending any amount of time on Karen, I would highly recommend getting this item. For our last 2 items, we have the Ardougne Cloak 2 and the Explorer's Ring 2. Both of these items are rewards for completing achievement diaries. Now, almost every achievement diary will eventually reward you with an item that unlocks a new teleport for your account. I'm specifically picking the Ardougne Cloak and Explorer's Ring because I use these 2 items way more than the others. They are imperative to completing an efficient herb run if you plan on making them a regular activity on your account. In the end, RuneScape has a vast landscape with a lot of obscure ways of getting around. Surely some of these methods will be learned over time and with experience. I hope I was able to guide some people in the right direction. I left a fair amount of wiki links down below if you want to read up more on some transportation methods. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be on the lookout next week for my Grotesque Guardian boss guide, and I'll see you in the next one.